not?
Yeah, because we have English listeners. Yeah.
Welcome to TJ's Tech Talk.
Welcome.
Welcome. Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to TJ's Tech Talk, our second edition, and we're at a very special location today. Luckily, we were invited by Mike at Lift Emotion.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Yeah. Thank you for visiting us here in Meppel.
Yeah. Well, it all. We were in contact, and always we were close at the Monaco Yacht Show, having some beers. And then I was planning to come here, a few times. I have to say it's a little bit out of the direction from Nijmegen.
Yeah.
But last week, I saw a beautiful post with a crane lifting a gigantic contraption inside this building.
Yeah, correct. It's behind us. It's a glass elevator. That's most of the time when we do a glass elevator, we build it up here inside our assembly hall horizontally. We put the glass and decoration and everything on, and then if it's like this one, a 3-stop elevator, we can drop it through the hole in the roof, and then we can do some testing and moving it up and down.
And this elevator, it's built for a house, a yacht. What's the purpose?
Yeah, we do of course elevators for yachting and for houses and very special houses. But this one is for a very old client already. I think 19 years. As long as Lift Emotion exists, we work together with Turquoise. Before it had a different name, of course, but Turquoise. So this is for a Turquoise yacht. Yep.
Amazing. And how does that work? It all lifts into a truck as a single piece, or you? Yeah.
In this case, yes, because this is with all respect, a 3-stop glass elevator. Yeah, we can make them up to whatever you want, but this one has 3 levels, meaning that we can put it here inside the building, including the glass, including the cabin. We connect it with the hydraulic hose to the pump and the lift controls, and we're now today we start on going through all electrical connections, checking, and then later this week hopefully it runs up and down, and then we can do some testing, load testing. Then it goes out of the building, and we're gonna wrap and pack it, and it will be transported in a truck to Turkey, and then when it's in Turkey we will remove the ugly red frame, and we will drop it into the ship in one piece. In this case, including the cabin. So at the yard, it's then connecting the wires.
A plug and play elevator.
Yeah, that's always the goal.
Amazing. Just to start. I mean, elevators. The viewers can't see this, but I see tracks lying everywhere and people working very hard on cases and everything. How does somebody even think of starting in elevators? I mean...
Yeah, that's a long history. The company itself is 19 years old. We started at that time due to a bankruptcy of another company. Where I was at that time not happy how that went, and together with my companion we got the opportunity to start our company, and we were helped by Fedship, by Turquoise, and some American clients to start our own business, having directly several yachts in order, and I think that was our lucky shot. And from that point, hard work and trying to deliver always, and keep your promises, and make it happen that it works.
Amazing. And what was your background in that company, if I may ask?
At that time, I was also sales, so I thought out the elevators roughly, and tried to sell it. And that's what I basically still do. I when I see a ship and I see a drawing, then I directly notice where the elevators are and start thinking, okay, what is here the best approach? And then nowadays with design elevators, my first question most of the time, who's the designer? Because then I already know a little bit to what direction we need to go.
Yeah.
And try to find that sweet spot of what is technically possible and what the client wants. And then sometimes hoping that the budget is there.
Is there to it's funny to
We got
there
some
it goes. It's funny to hear that even with elevators, the design of the vessel is apparently the main, starting point.
Yeah.
And in terms of technology, I mean, everybody uses elevators a lot of time.
Yep.
Is there a big difference in putting an elevator into a house or building and into a moving vessel? Is there a big difference?
Well, the first part of the word that you will say, moving vessel, that's of course a big thing. Ships and yachts and can move erratically, and you get tremendous forces. So you have to, in that way, you have to think different. Yeah, on a land-based system, let's say the simple cable that is between the cabin and the lift control just hangs loose in the shaft. If you do that on a ship and you don't think about it properly, then that loose cable will catch somewhere, and then
Shit happens.
and then the lift doesn't work. You have a different set of rules on ships. Yeah, Lloyd's, DNV, whatever. Environment is different. On yachts not as critical if it's inside the yacht, because the air in a yacht is I think better than most of the air that we breathe in now. For offshore or a wind farm offshore, we do a lot. We even have elevators that are in direct contact with the salty air and wind and movement. So more galvanized, etc., etc.
So it's not it's more the movement, the torque, and the physical strength than it is the environment based of yachting.
On the inside of a yacht, yeah, and then you have fire rating. Yeah, it's completely different than land-based. You have your SOLAS rules, A0, A60, and depending on where the elevator is inside the yacht, if it's inside the staircase, then you don't need a fire rating. But as soon as it goes through a fire boundary, then you need a fire door. But that means that if you have a fire boundary that you breach with a glass elevator, that's a problem, because you don't have glass A60 elevator doors. So those things are there.
Amazing. Yeah, that is stuff nobody
And at the end, it needs to look nice, run nice. We run our elevators with inverter drives. We do that since our sub-supplier for the pump units had it as a first test unit. I said I want it, and we had it up to America at a Trinity boat at that time. We had some issues, but because it runs smoother and better and more silent.
Because a verter drive, I don't have a clue about elevators, apart from them going up and down and that's all. A verter drive, it is the control bit, or it is the actual...
An inverter is a frequency inverter, so it's not the control, but it controls the motor, the pump motor. On yachts, we mostly have hydraulic elevators. Aesthetic, easier to maintain by the crew. The safeties are better and easier to understand. And normally you had a mechanical or electrical hydraulic valve, and that means that the pump always spins at 100%, and you get a lot of overflow. And then you close the valve, and then the lift goes up. That means also that you produce a lot of heat, and you spoil a lot of electricity. And with an inverter drive, you start with a low rev, and you rev it up slowly, and so it reduces the energy consumptions about between 35 and 50%.
Amazing.
Massive. Yeah, and that's something we did started already I think 16 years ago, and we were the first ever elevator company that delivered an hydraulic inverter-driven pump in America for the Steve Jobs Theater and in Cupertino for the spiral elevator. If you Google it, you can see it. Well,
I'll show you guys a picture. We'll clip it in. Yeah. And now you were saying, because you say hydraulic drive, I mean, this is very impressive. I actually wonder where does the whole piston goes, because it's not even that deep. It's a meter down.
Yeah, it's a 140. Here we hide the piston. Maybe if you it's so. Here we hide the piston behind the controller in the cabinet, and elevators, hydraulic elevators specific also, most of the time have the cabin at the lowest level, and now we hide that cylinder behind the lift control panel inside the cabin, the COP. And that means that every floor above, you don't see
don't see any piston.
You don't see the piston, so it's very clean from level 1 up. And normally spoken, you have that decoration, your COP, and you stand in the cabin. You don't see the cylinder.
Crazy. Yeah. It's stuff you don't think about if you're inside an elevator or you see an elevator. Yeah. And well, I'll put a clip in there as well, because now we're looking to, I don't know how many meters this is, a massive...
It's a 5-level elevator for a ferry that's being built in Vietnam and will sail in Denmark.
And is this a hydraulic elevator as well? Or?
Yeah.
So even for 5 levels...
Yeah, this is then a 2-to-1 hydraulic suspension. So you have a plunger cylinder, and then on top of that cylinder we put a sheave, and then we have some cables, and then the cable is connected to one part of the cylinder, the lower part, then goes over the sheave, then connect to the cabin. And then if the cylinder moves up 1 meter, the cabin moves up 2 meters, and that way you can go higher. Normally with a direct acting cylinder like that, you can do it with a telescopic cylinder with 2 stages, 3 stages. We even do 4 stages sometimes. Bravo Eugenia Oceanco we've done with a 4-stage. But with a 3-stage, it's the most common. And for land-based, we even have in Paris a house that goes up to 6 levels. It's 22 meters. And that one runs at almost 1 meter per second. For hydraulic, it's very fast. That's a double pump unit with 2 pumps, 2 inverter drives. That one has a very big glass cabin. I cannot show pictures from it. It's beautiful, but has 2. No, not lying. I think it has 2 30 kW electrical pumps. So if one of the pumps stops or doesn't work, we have a backup. But together they push that thing up 1 meter.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And in talking tech, I mean, a part of the podcast is about innovation, future. I already learned a lot. I mean, you would say, what can you innovate in an elevator, and what happens if you press up or down? Yeah. But is a lot of stuff happening with you guys? Does technology change fast?
No. Elevator technology is very driven by safety, and is very, very slow. Yes, there are changes. Yeah, even in regulations there are changes. So now you have European rules, American rules, and so on. That rule is going to change for one rule worldwide. Could make life for us easier in America. But also technical. There is a big change sometimes happening. We did a big Van Lent yacht and a big diamond yacht where we had no limit switches inside the lift shaft. We did that with the encoder. So a digital encoder with digital limit switches, which has an approval. Also according to the elevator regulations. Super cool when you think about it. Well, yeah, we're going to do that because we don't have limit switches. You don't hear the click or the click and so on. At the end, it resulted in the first units that were installed, and you need in the beginning you needed like a computer programmer to make it work, and that's not nice.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
So suddenly you're facing a guy with a laptop, and you're depending on this.
So that sometimes I try to innovate too quick, and that then sometimes costs us also a lot of money and time.
I can imagine, but at the other end, it's also it is also a unique selling point, I guess.
Yeah, we try, we do, and that resulted at that time in a very special elevator that you could not see any technical stuff. So I think, super cool. The path to go there was quite a challenge sometimes. Yeah.
And is it that yachting innovates for housing, or is it the other way around? What's the most?
Depends. We do several housing projects, and where the standard on yachts are high. I find that on yachting or on housing, sometimes the standards are even higher. Yeah, the demands, because the client it's even more closer to the product.
Yeah, it's a daily use.
It's their house, so you have to think about that a lot.
And is you say demand in times? What's the most demanding part? The design of the elevator, or technically, or where is the challenge in a project?
Well, to make something, especially if you look at a glass elevator, to make something look nice according to the wishes of the designer, which is really important because they act on behalf of the client. It's client's wish, designer's looks, and to get that in one piece that everybody say, well, yeah, cool, I love it. Yeah, we delivered in Paris again a house with a glass elevator, 4 levels, was also super nice, was dark chrome, anti-reflective glass, and the end client standing in there said, wow, this is a super nice piece of machinery and runs super nice.
And it's the center of the house. I mean, in most cases, I can imagine. Yeah,
center of the house or center of the yacht. Yeah, and like this also, if you have a design elevator, a glass elevator, shipyards have a very high budget for interior outfitting. But the elevator is an elevator, but yeah, we deliver it including the interior outfitter. Yeah. So if you take the square meter prices of interior outfitter inside and outside of the shaft, we could do even better jobs.
It's fun to hear that even with elevator, I hear you talk about budget, interior budget. I mean, we face this quite often, that it is surprisingly how budgets work, but it also is within the elevator business that you talk about actually about the elevator system, but the most demanding part could be the interior finish that you're actually doing.
Yeah. And then, so you have those glass elevators, but you also have the normal elevators, like what you see here on the rack, and that's a closed cabin, and then it gets an interior outfitting. So for us, that's that most of the time we need to take in care that sufficient weight can be moved up and down with the elevator, and then the interior outfitter can work around, making sure that they have enough space for cladding on the doors and everything.
And stupid question, but I mean, if I go to a shop or to a hotel, there are a few brands of elevators you always see. I mean, we always have to laugh about Schindler's Lift. Schindler's Lift. Yeah. But the common brands, I don't know if I can name brands, but I mean, that's a different marketplace, I guess.
Yeah.
But what's the reason why you go for a lift emotion closed box elevator into a property instead of one of those?
On a property or a yacht, we don't sell out of the book. This is our dimension. This is what you have. No. Yes, I base my systems on some standards, but if I get a drawing of a ship in a lift shaft, I put my drive system in that I know that's good enough for that, and then trying to get in the cabin as big as possible or as good as possible to get it in. If you work with a catalog, this is model A, B, C, D. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. What you get.
Yeah.
And in terms of future, I mean, looking at the company, how you stand now, it's. I mean, how old was this building? You say?
Yeah, it's now 4 or 5 years, I guess.
5 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
this big hall. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's quite a impressive facility.
Yeah.
How do you see the company in 5 years?
Hopefully. Hopefully in the 5 years, similar approach. I always said I don't want to grow. But that's something that I say in 19 years already. Starting with 2-3 guys, and now we're up to 28 people.
That's quite a growth, Mike.
Yeah, in 19 years. That's. But nah, I want to have this amazing group of people together. Yeah, that work together with us to make something good for everybody, and then that's.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah. I don't want to. I can put a double-size hall next to it. Scares me to do something like that because it's again a big investment, and then you never know what happens. The world is strange.
Yeah, and if something works and you're happy doing it, then
now it's really full. It's like, oh, it would be so nice to have another shed next to me, but. Yeah, that's also yachting delays sometimes, and then projects come together at one piece, and
so
please.
Project planning might be the biggest challenge.
Always,
have
project people, finding good people. So good engineers, good project managers can always send us an email. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we get an open job request on the podcast. No, but yeah, I mean, it's if you live in this area, I can imagine it's a cool company to work for. It's amazing what you guys do.
Yeah, we have good things for people. So, yeah, and it's always different.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. So this goes to Vietnam.
This goes to Turkey. We're working now on a project together with you guys. Something completely different.
Yes,
although it's an elevator, but I think it's something cool. It's a wine elevator. So some person has a very nice building, and inside that building they have a closet. Yeah, that's how you say it.
A cabinet.
Cabinet. Sorry, a cabinet with now 27 levels, where they can put 6 wine bottles on every level, left and right, and then in the middle we have a platform moves up and down and picks up a tray of 6 bottles that goes down, and then the smart technology of Mr. Smith comes there and says. Well, it knows which bottle to what floor it goes, and then it brings it down, and then the butler can open the bottle and you can drink your wine. So amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah, I can't wait to see the end result. I mean, the guys at the office are very, very excited about it. Yeah. Well, the funny bit is the programmer doesn't drink wine, so I had to explain him how a normal wine menu looks like. Yeah. Because you have the client side and you have the techie side. So they built this incredible interface with all buttons and options. I said, well, somebody just wants to pick a bottle of wine. I mean, the rest. Yeah. So how does something like that? Is it because they needed an elevator and they came to Lift Emotion, or what's the link there?
The funny part is the guy that came to me for this. I knew him from a project in 2007, 8. We did something in Cakewalk together with him. And every once, 2, 3, 4 years, you just speak each other a little bit on the show or whatever. And then he called, Mike, I have something cool for you. It's okay, what? Well, we have this, and can you help me because we want to move something up and down, and if it goes up and down, you need to go to Mike to Lifting Motion. He said so, and that's how it ended. So that's how long something can take. Yeah. So it's always that you think, how does it go?
Yeah, it's and I personally, I can't wait to see the end result.
Yeah.
But not allowed how much you not sure how much you are allowed to share of the end result. But that's confidentiality. It's always a problem. Yeah.
We will have a nice rendering picture on a news item later on, and I have something on the flyer with me at the Monaco Boat Show. So.
Well, guys, if you're interested and you're curious how it looks like, I mean, I'll ask Mike for that flyer to be on our booth as well. So
cool.
Come have a look because it's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And also, if you're interested in following Mike with all the projects going, I mean, you're coming to Monaco, right? You're there.
Yeah. Normally we had a standing. Well,
our neighbors. Yeah.
Our neighbors next to each other, drinking your beer. I'm good in that. This year we decided to walk around and to get a different approach and then have Mets again.
Yeah,
of course.
Mets in November.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having us over today. I mean, I'm deeply impressed.
Cool. Thank you.
It's always lovely, and this is what TJ's Tech Talk is a little bit about: talking to people about their stuff, the technology behind it, the how the business is set up, and
cool.
How it relates or correlates to the yachting industry. So thank you so much for having us, Mike.
Thank you for giving me a little bit of this time.
Yeah, no, of course. No, happy to.
Up to the next one.
Yeah, if there's a cool project, always feel free to let us know, and we can always record another one.
Yeah, cool. I will drop you a little movie about hoisting this one in.
Yeah, we'll
together
mix it in.
So you can mix it in a little bit. So it's funny to see also a little bit of the building on the outside, seeing some big cranes and a piece of glass moving up and down. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, if you see I've seen the little film. If you see the hole in the roof, and it's not very common for a building like this.
No.
It's very specific.
We had several elevators in here. We had here 2 for a project in Tasmania, and that's Bugabus. That's Venezuela. That's the biggest electric ferry in the world. And we had 2 elevators here running up and down, doing load tests, and then they were shipped to Tasmania, dropped into the ship. We didn't even go there. It was only online handover, and the technical people over there did the rest. So
remote plug and play for elevator system.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not always possible, but yeah.
No, it's amazing. I mean, you guys. One last question, because you mentioned the whole job story. If the guys I see walking around here, are these all traveling abroad, or you have a specialized team to do the commissioning?
We have a few guys here that travel around. We have several guys here that do the work here, and we sometimes have some self-employed guys also that travel for us. But we're currently we have a few guys that really are oar people and trying to train them up. Yeah.
And the team is Dutch based. I mean.
Yeah, Dutch based. Yeah. Dutch guys, but also some foreigner guys that live now here in the Netherlands.
Yeah. This is the base point to fly.
Getting people. Yeah, that's always the biggest problem. It's the same for you at Mrs. Smith.
Yeah. So talking about jobs, but that's a different story, guys. Look at our website as well. We have some vacancies. No, but I can imagine. I mean, traveling could be a thing. If you have, some people love it, but it's always a bit of a difficult balance. I mean, not everybody is made for it.
No, that's true. Yeah, it's in the past people didn't care to go 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever. Yeah, nowadays it's different.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah,
New generation.
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Generatiekloof.
Yeah, that's how we say that in Dutch. Yes. No, cool, Mike. Well, thank you very much, guys. If you're interested in more, please like and subscribe to the podcast, and stay out for the next one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye. Woohoo.
That's a wrap.